Oklahoma.
Damon
Again,
Harris.
I immediately tweeted when they stole him in the 4th round. That was a steal.
Right.
Because that guy is, he's got a little flash and a little splash and a little dash and a whole lot of bash going on. Because he can flat out, he can make you miss or he can make you pay in the hole because he will run your tail over.
Yeah, and they seem to be skipped. They like the 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, and they want to run the football.
And they got their little J.J. Taylor, so they got their little lightning bug. They got it. Well, they got it so good that a guy named Sony Michel is no longer with them, and he's with the Rams.
And so, Skip, I think the run game and what Cam complements the run game a little better than Mac Jones because he can be a part of the run game. And I think that's a part of the reason, Skip, we did not see Cam throw the ball. Cam only threw the ball, if I'm not mistaken, 21 times compared to Mac Jones 52 times. But I believe this was we know we have in Cam. We need to make sure this guy's ready because there's a great chance at some point in time during the season he's probably going to come take over for Cam. And so I believe that's why they gave him more throws than Cam. We know what Cam can do. But they didn't call any diagram runs for Cam. Cam didn't scramble with the football.
No.
So I think that's going to be a very big part of their game this year, running the football, Cam also running, and throwing these short passes to the tight end. Because Cam, some of his best seasons came when he had what? Greg Olsen, who he was throwing. I believe with that being said, I believe they start the season with Cam, and how long Mac Jones stays on the bench, how many reps Mac Jones get, that's going to be totally on Cam.
Okay.
Cam plays well, Mac Jones sit. Cam doesn't play well, Mac Jones is coming into the game.
Okay. Rodney's most powerful and final quote is, Cam, he's older, he's stuck in his ways, and his best days are gone. That's a mouthful from a guy who played this game at a high level, who's a very good analyst, who really gets football to me. And he's basically saying it's over for Cam, got to start fresh and new, that the team will have a much better spark to it. Instead of waiting for Cam to tail off, they'll just keep waiting for Cam. Do not understand. And one of them you're with me on, and the other one you're not with me on.
Correct.
And the first one is the old unwritten bromide in sports that you cannot lose your job because of injury. Why not? I don't know.
You can't.
Drew Bledsoe lost his job, and he was hurt. And he didn't get it back, and he was hurt. Did he deserve it back? No. Bill Belichick made the best choice of his coaching career. He said, this kid is so good, and I like it is playing because he's rubbing off. He's contagious to the rest of the team. We have a better spark to us. Everybody seems to play a little harder and higher in their potential because this kid is playing so well. It seems like he's playing over his head and everybody's playing over theirs. Okay, so that rule does not apply. That's up to the head coach. Now we get to unwritten rule number 2, and that is everybody just assumes right here, right now, because we got these kid quarterbacks that, oh, let the veterans start and the kid will come in week 4 or 5. That is mind-blowing to me. I don't get it. You have said it. It makes zero sense to me because a coach's job, the one thing he is paid to do at the is going to win the most games for me. And we asked this question last Friday. In a vacuum, if one starts 17 games and in a vacuum another starts 17 games, which wins the most games? And I said, I think Mac would win a game or 2 more than Cam would.
And I went with Cam.
Okay. Well, if you're presupposing that Cam will be replaced by week 4 or 5, then you're presupposing that he won't be that good.
No, I'm not.
You can't do it. It doesn't work in my mind. I can't compute it because You're suggesting negativity to me. You're suggesting that he will not play well enough to hold on to the job.
No.
If that's the case, the kid should start.
Well, no, that's not what that's not what I'm saying. But we saw Cam struggle. Now, I don't think I thought Cam was playing well. I was like, okay, he had turned the corner. Now, maybe it was COVID, like you said. Cam hasn't spoken about the effects that COVID had on his body, unlike a la Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum says, I didn't feel right. Even later in the season, I still didn't feel like I could get my win.
Number of athletes.
Right, exactly. Yep. But, Skip, I'm not predisposed. All I'm saying is this. That's the backup. That's why you hit Skip. Well, so why have a backup quarterback? You're predisposing that the quarterback might get hurt. So why not?
Okay, but that's a whole nother issue. You're playing a dangerous game to start with, and quarterbacks seem to get hurt more than any other position. So you have to have an emergency plan B.
But my point is, Skip, you're not predisposing that Cam is not going to play well. There are very few quarterbacks that no matter how bad their play, they're going to remain the quarterback. That's not the case because, like you said, Cam is not a draftee of the New England Patriots. He just came on. So the loyalty that they're going to have for Mac is not the same loyalty as they're going to have for Cam. Yeah, the loyalty they have for Mac is not the loyalty they have for Cam.
Yeah.
So, Skip, Mac might struggle. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Mac gets in. He starts the season, as you and Rodney suppose he does. And he struggles. Coach Belichick is going to give him a longer line because there's a loyalty. We drafted you. We want you to succeed, as opposed to Cam. Cam is not going to get the long line that he had last year where he struggles. He does not play well. He's turning the ball over. That's all I'm saying, Skip. Like you said, you have a backup for a reason just in case he gets hurt. Well, Mac Jones, if Cam doesn't play well, you put Mac in. But I believe it's a lot easier to go from Cam to Mac as opposed to Mac to Cam.
Okay, I got that. But if you think that Mac Jones will be playing by, I don't know what you're thinking, like, okay, even week 8, then you're telling me that Cam will start to fail. That you're telling me he will become vulnerable enough as a performer that Belichick will say, it's time to go to the kid. If you go forward with Mac, you should know, I'm sorry, with Cam. If you go forward with Cam, then you should know it's your job to predict that he's going to keep the job for 17 games and then 2 or 3 more.
Skip, you can't do that because under that premise, you would be able to predict that a quarterback wouldn't get hurt, and so you wouldn't need a backup.
No, it's
so
not about injury. It's about performance.
But hey, performance, injury,
okay,
it doesn't
but
mean you don't know.
You should certainly know about Cam, what you got, because you saw it last year.
Yes.
So you should, this is your job. This is, if you're the genius that everybody thinks you are, you should know in your head right now, after what you've seen through camp and preseason, that Cam is going to give you this and the kid is going to give you that. Is that better than this? You should know going forward. You should be able to predict because it's your job. It's who you are.
Skip.
It's your Belichickian job.
Skip.
You have to say, I'm going with him or him till death do I part.
How many times have you sat up here and said the hardest thing to do besides play quarterback is select a quarterback and tell you what he will or won't be in the future?
We'll see John Elway.
It's easy to say, well, we're going to move forward with this guy and this guy. I can assure you.
The Broncos on the 11th starter since Peyton Manning?
Skip.
Yikes.
You think Chicago actually thought that Mitchell Trubisky was going to fail? Of course not.
Okay, it's the hardest position to predict. I agree.
Yes. So, but
but it is your job to predict it. The best ones do get it right.
Sometimes. Sometimes they get it right.
Well, the people who win get it right. And Belichick got it right once upon a time, a long time ago, and boy, did it ever pay off.
Everybody doesn't have the luxury of having a Green Bay situation. You have 16, 17 years of bliss with one guy, and you get 16 or 17 years. So basically, Skip, you've had 30-plus years of premium quarterback play. Very few teams could actually say that. In the history, they might not have had 30 years in the total franchise history of great quarterback play. Green Bay has strung it together consecutively. I just believe they went out and got these weapons. Skip, when they were filling out their draft board, did you think they thought they could get Mac Jones? Because they heard what was going on. People are moving up. They thought in order to get one of these quarterbacks, to get Mac Jones or Trey Lance, they thought they might have to move up. They knew they weren't going to be able to get Trevor Lawrence. And as we started to find out, it was etched in stone that Zach Wilson was going to the Jets. And you was like, why is it already etched in stone that he's the second best quarterback, he's going? So I believe Coach Belichick, they went to free agency with the thought that Cam Newton was going to be their quarterback this year. Somehow, Mac Jones tumbles. The 49ers go get a second look at Trey Lance. They love what they see. They take Trey Lance, and all of a sudden, Mac Jones